In 7th place on the West leaderboard with 40 league points, coming from the USA, is Melyn. All right, how long have you been playing Shadowverse?
I've been playing Shadowverse since Wonderland Dreams, which I think was 2017.
What are your favorite classes to play?
My favorite classes to play historically was Haven for sure. I have like twice as many games on Haven as anything else. And then Sword is probably next.
Is there a reason that you like Haven in particular?
I liked Haven the most because they healed. And I've always been drawn to like healing archetypes and MMOs, just games in general.
How do you approach the current meta?
How do I approach the current? Honestly, I try to find 2 decks that are meta. I look and see what's being played, and then I try to find 1 deck that I like that doesn't instantly lose to all of them.
Does it seem like it's hard to find more than 2 decks that are meta that you like?
It's not that hard to find 2 decks that are meta recently, because a lot of decks actually do rally a lot, and I do enjoy that. So it's been pretty easy this time. It's been a lot harder last time with like heavy combo metas like Baleon, Loop, and stuff like that. So it's just kind of trying to find things that counter them to the best I can.
What was your best play this year in SVO?
Best play in SVO this year, the time that I missed lethal with Crystallize.
Your best play, interesting.
The easiest lethal in the world, and I just completely tossed it away. And then I had to scramble to come back in that game. So it was the worst play, and then it kind of turned around and I established it. But that's definitely the play I remember the most.
How do you feel missing lethal on stream in the past affects the way you play Shadowverse now?
Missing lethal in the past, like, it's gonna happen. You can't really, like, no one's perfect. So you practice. Like, I know some people say it's BM to do max damage, but you do max damage on ladder and scrims. Do that every time. You just try to keep it in your head. I need to do this, and then just go for it. But you can't let it get in your head, or you'll just run out of time, and then you'll miss lethal for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with max damage. If I have like 30, 40 damage, I want my opponent to know it. I got to show that to the world.
Yeah, like they might have wards, they might have max HP. You need that.
What's your favorite moment from Shadowverse in the previous cups that you've topped in?
Honestly, it'd probably be the first cup that I topped in when I brought Eris Haven. Just bringing a deck that I made myself. I was able to actually make it the top 8, top 4. Really kind of gave me the motivation to keep going. Just any game that I played with that deck was pretty special.
Hearing that you sometimes make your own decks, do you feel comfortable deck building, and are you trying to create any of like your own creations possibly for Contenders Cup?
I feel pretty comfortable deck building. I make most of my decks. Recently, I've started to look into just like tournament things like, oh, why are they playing this? Do I like that? Is it better than what I'm doing? And I'll try to weigh the pros and cons. But I think there's something special about making your own deck, even if you do change it, that helps you see what it actually does better and makes you more aware of like the lines that you can do. So I think there's always a benefit to, even if you don't use that deck the whole way, just making it yourself first.
It sounds like you've made some mistakes during the season, but you're able to recover from that, and it's evident by you doing so well and being able to make it to the Contenders Cup. What advice would you give to newer players on how they can learn from and get better when they make mistakes?
What advice would I give to newer players to learn from mistakes? Play a lot. When you lose a game, think about why you lost. Very rarely do you lose because like you just couldn't do anything. Like sometimes just go into a replay. Like look at your hand. Could you have done anything with it? Could you have done anything with it a turn earlier? Did you play a card too early? And it's just like, oh, if I had this turn, I could have done this. Just think about those things, then apply it in the next game. See what happens. Just keep doing that. Don't let one loss bring you down, though. If you miss lethal, you miss lethal. You learn, and don't do it again. That's how you have to do it.
I could use that advice in the Tactician's Cup. I'm always blaming everything left and right for my losses and that.
To be fair, there are some pretty cursed drafts you can get in Tactician's Cup where it's like, actually, no, I can't win this one. This is unplayable.
Would you like to give any shout outs?
Shoutouts? Not really, no. Can't really think of any. But a shout out, I guess, my chat for hanging out with me.
All right. That's pretty much all I have. Good talking with you.
Thanks. Thank you. Nobody beats me 3 times in a row in the finals.